All right. Welcome to Retail Therapy. I am Leslie.
And I'm Kelly, and we are Metamorphosis Studios.
So, Kelly and I, we are two consultants with about 2 decades of experience in ops, customer experience, and strategy, working for companies anywhere from startup to big box retailers like Bed Bath. And at the root of what we do, whether we're guiding businesses or helping amplify voices of the amazing talent that we have worked with, our focus has always been on how can we help?
So today we're here with Heather Trobridge because she is on the hunt for her next big role. Yay!
Hey.
We happen to think Heather is absolutely incredible at what she does, aka content queen, is where I'll leave that, but also an absolutely incredible manager of people and what I like to call a customer connector. So we want to share that with you all today. We want Heather to be seen, to be heard, and maybe even connect with somebody and land her next opportunity. So, Heather, welcome to Retail
Thank you for
Therapy.
having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. We're so happy to have you. So, please tell us a little bit and all of our guests about yourself, who you are, what type of role you're looking for, and then, most importantly, our favorite thing to ask people, what's your superpower?
Yeah, so I have had about 4.5 years of social media marketing experience. And one of my favorite things about social media marketing, just in general, is that I feel like there's never a dull moment, there's never a dull day. The position is constantly changing with the nature of how social media is evolving, and it's so dynamic. I've worn so many different hats as a social media manager. I feel like most of my skill set has really fallen into content creation, but I also have done so much work with strategy, community management, analytics and reporting, influencer, you name it. I feel like I have done it. Um, so I feel like the kind of roles that I'm looking for are really with the social media marketing space, continuing to bring my skill set to social media manager roles, strategist roles, wherever that feels like it fits right. I really want to bring my love for content and creating beautiful communities and spaces to another brand, which is one of the things that I'm the most excited about with my job hunt right now, is just finding my next home, my next workplace that I'm going to feel like, I can throw myself into. And
I loved
I
how data driven you were when we got the chance to work together because
yes.
I thought that you always brought that into such a great social content lens. Like you were always like the first one. I remember I would like almost like run in the opposite direction because I hate being on the camera, but you were like, the trend. And I didn't even know it yet. And I'm like, avid, like TikToking crazy
Yep.
person, but like you were on it, you knew it. And then more importantly, you knew how to take what we were seeing in our data associated to our brand of Party City and apply that to how we could really bring that trend to life and gain more social following.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are so interesting because, and I could talk about this like all day. But the numbers, when you're really like applying how your content is performing to what is trending, like you can see so much interesting things with little pieces of data, why one piece outperformed another. And that can really shape how you're bringing your content to life, because once you kind of crack that code within the numbers, the content starts easily flowing. Like the content becomes so easy to make. It becomes not even formulaic, but it's just like what works. And I really love finding that. It's almost like it's like a little puzzle. It's like a challenge.
Absolutely.
And my superpower, I thought about this a lot. And what I feel like I bring to the table that makes me a little bit different is my ability to predict and accurately forecast upcoming social media trends. So, not even just the micro trends of, oh, I see this trending sound and I think it's going to blow up, but really taking a look at the platforms in totality and figuring out what the major shifts are going to be in the social media landscape. I grew up using pretty much all of these platforms, and I really pride myself in knowing them very well and seeing where they're going to go next.
I think that's a great point because I would say from personal experience of getting to watch you in action, you really brought Party City to TikTok, we didn't have a real like essence there. We didn't have a whole lot of followers. And I think you not only brought that to life, but you made the content so relevant to what the algorithm was loving to have in it. So like I just was so proud to see that you applied like what was popular, what was on trend. You took a lot from what we learned from Pinterest. I mean, you took it from all different sources and you really brought it to life in such a fun and creative way that there was quite a few viral moments for Party City on TikTok because
Yes.
what you and your team did.
And on the trends. And it was such a collaborative effort, and seeing it rise to the number is still insane to me. In like a year's span, we grew 400% more than we had in previous years.
Amazing.
Not even in a year, in 11 months. Like 419% our following grew. And just to see that growth at such an expeditious rate was
Yeah,
incredible.
that's amazing. I think because of that, right, there's one more superpower that I would add to your collection, if that's okay. And
Ooh.
that's because, we had a lot of fun working together and I got to always have the blessing of seeing you in action. But I think you have such a customer centric approach to everything that you're curating from a social content perspective. And you go so far beyond that in terms of you really think about the full customer experience in every step of the way of what you're either guiding your and leading your team to do, working with, the content studio on like what kind of, what do we need in that video in order to really connect with them. And most importantly, especially in moments where things might not have gone so well for a particular customer, I could never believe how amazingly like you were on it, your team was on it, and my team helped with customer service, and the partnership and collaboration that we had there where we got to make so many wrongs that started that way such a right that we built loyalty with those customers and really established a foundation for the brand that felt like I want to shop here because of that. Like I just love that about you because it's such a well-rounded way of approaching social.
Thank you. Yeah, customer experience on social is one of those things. Community management as a whole, I feel like sometimes gets tossed to the wayside when you're thinking about content. And being able to make a community on your platforms is it's a gift. It's one of the great things about social networking because you get to connect people. And I mean, I think about how I want to be treated by brands when I am interacting as the brand. I want to be treated with respect. I want to be treated with, courtesy. I want to be treated, I want to be helped quickly if I'm having an issue. And I want my problem, whether it is a small issue or whether it's a large problem, I want it to be viewed as important. And I think coming to it from that lens is very important. You just want to treat people the way that you would want to be treated by a
Absolutely.
brand. And I think having that just, it's that's one of the golden rules, right?
Yeah.
Applying that still exists online and being able to help customers and get those reactions of like, hey, we were helping with huge moments, birthdays, graduations, life moments like that. You don't want like I wouldn't want my birthday to be ruined because something went wrong. I would want to be helped, and that's kind of the urgency that we treated it with on social the best that we could.
I
You
think you bring
really
a really good
sense.
point because the in the world of retail, selling jeans or a top or whatever the case may be is quite different than, someone would say, well, you're just selling balloons. Yeah, but I'm selling balloons for someone's first birthday, like all the points that you just made and having that commitment to realizing that your product is part of someone's major life moment and it matters, the moment matters a lot more than probably the product, but the product is bringing that moment to life.
Yeah.
So I think, to Kelly's point, what you guys did to make that a priority and your actions match the words, which is super important.
Thank
So
you.
the other thing that was very cool to watch, because by the time this came about, I was actually no longer with Party City, was you guys did this amazing engagement with Lance Bass that I all of a sudden not only saw Party City social blow up, but then I saw his social blow up. And like I couldn't go on a single platform without seeing Lance Bass and Party City. So like we weren't there for it. Like, what was that like? What did you do? Like, tell us about it.
Yeah. So that whole day was such a whirlwind, but it was so much fun. Uh, Aside from starring in the supermarket sweep with Charles, which was the most fun, I wish you could have seen the
You guys killed
board.
it.
We knocked over an entire shelf of cauldrons. Which is, that's a little behind the scenes take. We did edit that out. Or actually, I don't even think we got it on camera. We were running through the aisle.
Oh man.
But aside from that, it was just such an incredible day bringing that fun to the office. And so, my role on it, I was one of the main points of contact for Lance's team. And I really helped with two sides of things. I did a lot of the administrative work. So, managing product orders and helping out with the contract, things like that. But I also had the opportunity to work super closely with them to bring their vision to life for the content. And Ashley, Brandon, Calvin, and I put our heads together and we ideated and ideated and ideated until we landed on how we wanted to bring these two videos to life. So our CEO for the day and our supermarket suite was it's just working with them was so much fun and seeing it come to life. Calvin's editing was absolutely incredible. Brandon's photography was amazing. Ashley is just an absolutely phenomenal social media superstar, and just like seeing how we all like work together on these creative moments, I feel like we just cooked up super fun content that performed incredibly well. We had never done that video. The supermarket sweep in particular was about 5 minutes, something like that. We had never tested a video like that on social. We didn't know how it was going to perform. We didn't know if people would even watch all the way through. And I think just a mix of the ideation and the way that it was brought to life, we retained so many people watching that video all the way through. People were they enjoyed it so much, and it was such a breath of fresh air on our page where, when you're doing a lot of 5, 15, 30-second reels, doing something different like that was just so much fun. Oh my gosh, that day was just such a great time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And speaking of something different, I think of another fun activation that you helped with the Kelsey brothers and with Party City sponsoring the first Baby games. I mean,
Yeah.
talk about viral moment. Remember when we were all in that stadium and there was thousands upon thousands of fans all in the stands blowing
Yep.
their Party City necklace whistle and like making that noise, like just
Oh, I know.
there wasn't a place you could look without the Party City logo being there, like, and you helped bring that to life. What did that feel like for you? How was that?
That was so surreal to be a part of. It just, I mean, sometimes all I think about is like the pool full of Skyline chili and like Jason's Super Bowl ring being in there and thinking like, we helped bring this to life. This happened, seeing the pin the mustache on Andy Reid, them throwing footballs at the cutouts. Like I was like, this is so surreal.
It was very cool. It was a very cool experience. So, you know, Heather, when Kelly and I were talking about doing this, I think one of the biggest drivers, in addition to how can we help, was we've seen conversations where people get to show up and finally talk and share their experiences and get into the nitty-gritty. And that's where the magic happens, where someone's like, you're more than just the resume on the piece of paper. Here's the person, here's the magic you bring, right? And so we've talked about a lot, you've accomplished a lot, you've done a lot. Is there anything that you think the world needs to know that we haven't already covered?
Ooh, if I had to sum, if I had to sum it up in like one sentence, I feel like I take a very, very strategic approach to socials. And I have a unique way of balancing core business goals, customer values, and bringing it to life in a creative, engaging way. I had to sum it all up. The customer is so important to me. Our community that we build is very important to me. And doing it in innovative and exciting ways. I like to think of myself as a yes and kind of person where no idea is too crazy. And the best ways that we can iterate are just, continuing to shoot as high as we possibly can.
Awesome.
That's so awesome. I love that answer so much. And you're right. The customer is at the center of all we do. Heather, this has been so much fun, and I can't thank you enough for sharing your story today, for joining us here. And we're so excited because we know that the right opportunity is right ahead of you, and we just can't wait to watch you and cheerlead from the sidelines and see you grow. So for anyone out there that might be looking for a talented professional like our dear friend Heather here, or if you need help with your own story and amplifying that, please reach out to Leslie and I at Metamorphosis Studios. We are absolutely here and we love to help. So until next time, thanks for listening. This is Retail Therapy. And thanks again, Heather.
You guys are the best. Thank you guys so much for having me.